ndekete géej gu nekk dafa am borom.
Each of these seas is inhabited by an entity. It contemplates the vastness of the sea that the Alif has shaped. This is how he perceives the sea, bubbling under the brilliance of its water, to the point where the effervescence reaches such intensity that it would burst the human eye, the Zahir state, if one attempted to endure its vision. This sea is animated by waves that rise beyond reality, reaching dizzying heights and immeasurable grandeur. They seem to water the divine realm itself before resuming their perpetual motion. Through this demonstration of the sea, the holder of inner vision discerns an entity emerging with power, majesty, and light that transcend all scales of measurement. This being stands with such imposing stature that the possessor of inner vision cannot discern its head. Thus, through its manifestations, tajaliyat, it gradually transforms so that the holder of inner vision can grasp it. It is deduced that if this being had retained its initial form, even the one with inner vision could not have witnessed its appearance. This being walks within the Sea of Alif, observed by the inner visionary. It is clothed in a pristine white jalaba, topped with a red cloak, adorned with 12 buttons. 2 of these buttons are located at its knees. Under the careful observation of the inner visionary, the bubbling continued up to its chest. This is how the observer precisely counts 12 buttons on his cloak, marking the way this being has revealed itself. With its radiant beard and a turban of dazzling beauty, emitting a light that illuminates and floods its face, the being advances majestically. The holder of inner vision continues to contemplate it as it walks in the Sea of Alif, treading the waves with its feet and allowing them to follow their perpetual rhythm of rising and falling. Its movement seems directed towards the divine realm. The being continues its ascent until it approaches the divine realm, where the holder of inner vision stands. Upon reaching proximity, it addresses him and says, "Do you know who I am?" The holder of inner vision replies, "You are the majestic being whom, to my understanding, I have always called Ruhul Qudus." The being then asks a second question, "Do you know my name?" The holder of inner vision immediately responds, "No, no, I do not know your name." The being replies, "I have 19 names, but among these 19, take the one by which I am universally known. I will reveal the other 18 to you, but first remember the one that is universally recognized." The holder of inner vision asks, "What name is it?" The being responds solemnly, "Sheikh Ahmad Tijani Chérif." Then he extends his hand and declares, "Whoever drinks from the Sea of the Alif to know the Lord Allahu, the same name is Muzati that you have brought, must necessarily pass through me. Everything in the Sea of Alif, everything in the Sea of the Alif, attributed to a gnostic, Arif, proceeds from me." The holder of inner vision then eagerly asks, "Who is it?" The being with unshakable majesty replies, "Me, Sheikh Ahmad Tijani Chérif." The holder of inner vision, deeply moved, exclaims, "Since you have granted me immense spiritual opening, Fathu, through the zikr I have chanted, namely Ya Latif, and since your sublime name, which have just revealed to me, precedes the 18 others you wish to make known to me, grant me the first time to praise this name before you continue." The being then stands in the Sea of the Alif, listening with absolute attention. The holder of inner vision raises his voice in a song of praise. Alhamdulillah Mawlai al-Arashil, Al-Shaykh al-Kursil, Ahmadinillah, At-Tijani al-Bast, Al-Sharif al-Kunuz. What the holder of inner vision sought to express was his own understanding, a spiritual structuring that allowed him to introduce the terms Arash, Kursiyu, Bast, Allah, and Kunuz. For, although he had received a name, Sheikh Ahmad Tijani Chérif, and was aware of it, he knew that a direct assimilation of this name, in all its depth, was neither immediate nor evident. This is why, in his praise, he ordered the appellations in a specific manner: Mawlaya, Sheikh, Ahmad, Tijani, and finally, Sharif. Indeed, this majestic being, walking in the Sea of the Alif, embodied a transcendent reality. From then on, the holder of inner vision asked to receive its ultimate synthesis. Thus, the being led him even deeper, through his inner vision, into the spheres of the divine realm, where it infused him with the remaining 18 divine names. The holder of inner vision received them all and added them to the first name revealed, Sheikh Ahmad Tijani Chérif, thus completing the set of 19 names. Then, in an act of submission and gratitude, the holder of inner vision addressed the being and declared, "By your will, I will do everything in my power to exalt and praise each of these 18 names with the consideration they deserve." The Supreme Being then replied, "Since the name Ismuzati is a sea, and each sea has an owner, wait, I will touch your face to strengthen your inner vision, so that you may see the one who resides in the Lamb and is preparing to come. From there, a reality well known to the elect manifested, a reality so intense that when it occurs, it overwhelms the being like a form of divine hypnosis. It is the same effect produced by the contemplation of a luminous arrangement, whose perfect organization fascinates to the point that the observed being ultimately captivates the observer entirely. This is precisely what happened to the holder of inner vision in the presence of Mawlaya Sheikh Ahmad Tijani Chérif. He observed it with such intensity that he gradually forgot that the Alif, the Lam, and the Ha were each a distinct sea, each with its own owner. His mind was entirely absorbed by the Sea of the Alif and the immensity of the opening granted to him. At that precise moment, he could only express what he deeply felt and what was inspired in him at that time. For when the soul reaches certain spiritual states, it can only utter what is dictated to it. It is in this dynamic that when he proclaimed, Alhamdulillah Mawlai al-Arashil, Al-Shaykh al-Kursil, Ahmadinillah, At-Tijani al-Bast, Al-Sharif al-Kunuz, he affirmed that these words had been inspired to him. When asked why, he simply replied, because when one reaches certain states, one can only say what one is commanded to say. However, to avoid focusing exclusively on this aspect to the point of forgetting that the seas are in perpetual motion and that each has an owner, the being placed his hand on the face of the holder of inner vision. Through this gesture, he instructed him to turn his gaze toward the owner of the Sea of the Lamb and ordered him to undertake an in-depth study of the one who resides within it. Intrigued, the holder of inner vision asked, "How can I conduct this study?" The being replied, "If I left you only with your inner vision, you would not be able to study the one in the Sea of the Lamb. But wait, I will entrust you with something." Eager for understanding, the holder of inner vision immediately inquired, "What is it?" The being then responded with gravity and mystery. I will transmit my secret to you, a secret that encompasses my 18 names, and when added to the one you already know, forms a total of 19 names. This secret is Sirroul Kubra.